Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasham cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Sishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmat Gurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivodbhutam Yata Nidraya Yes Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanameva Dvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namayitam Sri Dakshinamoortaye Bijasyantarivangkuro Jagatitam Prang Nirvikalpam Punah Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitrya Chitri Kritam Maya Veva Vijrambayatyabimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamoortaye. Welcome back to all of you. We have completed the first one, and in the second mantra here, second verse here, we have been seeing various schools of thoughts on creation. Creation is always a wonder, and the human mind always had pet theories about it, and the land of Bharat is no exception. There were those who have scientifically analyzed the creation, and some of them are non-Vedic tradition, including Vaisheshikas, Sankyans. They have been working on this concept of creation. And there are other non-Vedic theories, such as that of Buddhism, Jainism. Here we saw so far that the analysis has been done by Manasollasa, Sureshwaracharya. Briefly, when we look at it from the verse number 1 of where he starts on speaking about the creation, before the very verse itself, he had started to explain Upadanam prapanchasya samyuktaha paramanavaha mrudanvito gatastasmat bhasate na ishwaranvitaha. Just like a pot is created by a kulala, a kumbhakaraha, a creator of the pot, and with the help of the mud, he creates it. Similarly, atom particles come together, have formed this creation, and there is no need for Ishvaraha. This is the standpoint of Vaisheshikas. And similarly, Paramanugataha eva gunaha rupa rasa adayaha karyam karye samanajadiyava arabante gunantaram. And the qualities of the cause will be found in the qualities of the effect. And therefore, we understand that material cause alone has created a material world. That's called samavayi karana, inherent cause. And he went on to discuss all these things. And we have come to the point of explaining Vaisheshika themselves, having the specific terminologies such as dravya. Because in the verse number 20, that is what we are about to start on. Having explained about the various pramanas, Vedanta adopts pramana as the means to know anything. And there are, as explained in the verse number 18, etc., there are 6 pramanas. That is Anumana, Upamana, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, Shabdha, and Pratyaksha. So we will find that the pramanas are explained, no doubt. Last class I have explained that. There is one more which is used as Abhava Pramana. So this is also considered as the Abhava, as one more prabhava or pramana. And here, basically, as it is given, Vedantins such as Bhattas have explained Abhava as a pramana. And there are those who are from Purana, they will accept Sambhava and Aitihya as also pramanas. Pramanas means means of knowledge. And that is what it is said in the verse number 19. Abhavashta anya idani bhataha vedan tinaha tada samba vaidihya uttani tani pauranikaha jaguhu. These are also considered as pramanas. Why the pramana is important? What is not known can be known only through a pramana. For if we think, where is heaven? If all the rituals are pointing out as heaven as a possible destination for all the souls, those who do punya karma, what is the pramana for existence of heaven? Nobody has gone there and come back and told us that it is there. So how do we know it is there? So one is, the Vedas say, even though you do not know, it is not pratyaksha, it is not anumana, it is not arthapatti, it is not anupalabdhi. None of the pramanas will work there. Shraddha eva pramana. Shraddha is what is stated by the rishis and munis, and that there is heaven. Now, supporting that are the Sambhava and Aidihya. Pauranikas say, Puranas explain about it. Purana is also considered as a pramana. So what is said in the Puranas? There are stories about people doing rituals and reaching heaven. And so therefore, according to Purana, the possibility is there, Sambhava. And also, Aidihya means what has been followed by people for a long time. Iti ha asau. This is how it was. So Aidihya is also considered as a pramana for existence of something which we don't know, but possibility is there. Chandrayana 4. Chandra, how do they know that they can land in South Pole? Possibility, Sambhava. Nobody has gone before, so you do not know whether you can go there. So now nobody has gone there and reported that you can go there. Now it is. Now that they have gone and landed there, they can say, now we have gone, landed there, pictures are there, proof is there. So then it is, the possibility has become a reality. So until that possibility is proved as reality, only the words of people or the skill of the people who have worked on it must be taken as the pramana. What is the standpoint of the Vaisheshikas here? They are called Kanadas also. Now, therefore, here is the verse number 20. We read that. Dravyam gunastata karma samanyam savisheshikam samavayam cha kanadaha padarthan shatprachakshate. Dravyam gunaha tata karma samanyam sa visheshakam. So, the Kanadas, Kanada also known as Kanada, the Rishi known as Kanada is the one who had started this philosophy of Vaisheshika. Sa visheshakam. What is that important thing that they have started to explain? The creation has got 6 such categories. They are called padartaha. What are those? Dravyam. First one is dravya, substance. Then gunaha, quality, nature, characteristics. Karma, function, activity. Samanya, in general, what is there in everything. And Vishesha, what is unique, peculiar, special. And finally, Samavaya. Samavaya is what is inherent. Cha kanadaha padarthan shat prajakshate. To start with, they believe that everything in this world has got these 6 categories of 6 aspects or 6 things that are there in everything. And based upon those varieties of guna, dravya, guna, karma, samanya, vishesha, samavaya, based upon that is a variety. According to Vaisheshikas, the Maya, which is said to be in the verse, as the cause of this variety of creation in the form of time and space, is not accepted. They don't accept the Maya as the, because if you have to accept Maya, then you have to accept a power. And if you have to accept a power, there has to be one who holds the power. Power cannot work by itself. Power has to work under somebody who is using that power. So here, by accepting Maya, you have to accept Mayavi also. By accepting the power, you have to accept the person who is wielding the power or using the power. So they do not want to accept Ishvara as the cause, Ishvara as the element involved in this creation. And so Vaisheshikas, they would say it is not there. Every object has got these 6 aspects. So, Pramaneshu Gadinam Tattva Vede Vipradibhatti Muktva, the differences in the various pramanas that are there, Tat Prasangena Tesham Prameya Tattva Vipradibhattihi Darshayan, the differences are being shown here. Ado Vaisheshikamadam Upanyasyati. To start with, what is the standpoint of Vaisheshikas is being explained. So, Dravyam. Dravyam is the first one, substance. Now, the word Dravya, usually we use that word like liquid. Anything liquid is Dravati iti Dravyam. Anything that runs. Water is a Dravya. Why? Because it runs. When you pour it, so anything liquid. But here it should not be used in that way. Dravya is a substance, what it consists of. So here we will see, it will be explained what are the dravyas in the next verse. And Gunavacha Dravyam. And it is associated with Guna. Guna, the quality. Jadi Matrashrayatve Satyah Spandatmana Andatma Gunaha. So, the gunas are, the characteristics are, according to the jati, according to the branches or the category it belongs to. That also will be explained. Then what is karma? Chalanatmakam karma. What is subject to movement? Whatever movement is taking place, that is also considered as the nature or the aspect of the object or matter. Nityam anekanuvrittihi samanyam. That which is always available for everything equally. Nitya dravyam ashrita visheshaha nitya sambandha samavaya. All this will be explained one by one. According to the category, it will be considered as that. Okay, so evam lakshana beda vinnat Shad padarthan kanadaha prajakshate ityarthaha. These kind of 6 aspects are talked about. Now, what are the dravyas that is said here? Navadravyani bhutani Dikkalatmamanamsi cha Chaturvimshatireva syuhu Guna Shabdadi Panchakam Parimanam cha Sankhya cha Dvavsam Yoga Vibhagakau Swabhavata Prataktvatvam Swabhavata Prataktvam cha Gurutvam Dravata Punaha Paratvam cha Paratvam cha Sneha Samskara Ityapi Dhir Dvesha Sukha Dukke cha Dharma Dharma Prayatnakaha. Now, one may ask this question, what is the relevance of it for us to understand this now? The idea of explaining all these things is to establish, Vedanta wants to establish the oneness of the creation, and the creation is an illusion. That is the standpoint with which we should understand this. Because science does not hold the world as an illusion. Science does not accept the world as an illusion. Does it? Why? If science has to accept the world as an illusion, nothing will be then experienced by people, and then everybody will become renounced. Science works on the assumption what is perceived is true. Isn't it? जो हम देख रहे हैं वो सब सत्य है. Whatever we are seeing, it's all true. Perception is the reality. Whatever we perceive is real. Whatever is seen by the senses, experienced by the senses is real. Based upon that, only science can work. If one proves that what you are perceiving through the senses itself is unreal, what your equipment through which you are seeing itself is unreal, that is it. Then whatever is perceived through that also unreal only. If I know my eyes are themselves are unreal, then whatever is seen by the eyes are also unreal only. Why do we say dream is unreal? Because in the dream, we are seeing. We are also seeing, we are also smelling, we are also tasting, touching, everything. But when you wake up, you say, whatever I experienced for the past, whatever number, even time also not understood at that point. How much time you dreamt, I don't know. How long was the dream? I don't know. Maybe you slept only for 5 minutes, but the dream seems to be having a long period. So you can't understand how long was how vast was the dream. Anyways. Now, upon waking up, when you say that was not real, it is because you consider this as real. This, what you are right now is real. So only upon the reality of the waking, you can, on that standpoint alone, you can say dream is unreal. Correct? While in the dream, you cannot deny the dream. Because the equipment with which you are trying to deny the dream is real to you. The mind which was experiencing the dream cannot deny its presence. So the dream mind is known to be not true, false, only by the waking mind. So too, this waking mind, which along with its own senses, eyes, ears, etc., with which it is functioning, can be seen as false, unreal, only upon awakening ourselves to something else. Vedanta is trying to push us to that point. Wake up. And so, how do we wake up to that state of mind or state of consciousness by which or from which we can deny this mind? Is it possible that while we are giving reality to this mind and this senses, we are still able to say this is unreal? Cannot. So therefore, Vedanta is trying to tell you impermanency of things. Start with. Unreality comes later. Let us look at the temporariness of things. I hope you understood clearly the methodology used to by Vedanta, why it is trying to tell us that this, while it is trying to tell us this is not real, it cannot do so, or it can only up to a person who has woken up. And for him, there's no reason, there's no need to explain any further. After you wake up, I have to tell you, wake up. No, I don't need to tell you dream is false. No, I know it. For him, there is no explanation necessary. So first, to make us realize the false nature of what is experienced, the mind being itself is false, much less you can think about the reality of the senses, etc., which are equally unreal. So first, let us start with, is it permanent or temporary? While Vaisheshikas hold the view that the world being real and the substances, gunas, karma, vishesha, samanya, and samavaya, all of them are going to be shown by the Vaisheshikas as real. Now, Vedanta would try to say these are all not real, meaning these are all temporary first. So, with that understanding, let us proceed to know why the Vaisheshikas are trying to hold the reality of the world and deny the Ishvara as the creator. So now what are the dravyas that are there? Navadravyani bhutani. There are 9 dravyas are there. And what are those? 5 bhutas, panchabhutas, that are accepted by most of the philosophers of India, philosophical tradition of India, schools of philosophy, as it was categorized by Sankyans. 5 bhutas or panchabhutas, that is Prithvi, Jalam, Vayu, Agni, and Akasha. Then Dik, Kala, Atma, Manam, Sicha. Dik means direction or space. Kala, the time. Atma, the individual soul. And Manaha, the mind. This told, therefore, 5 plus 4 become 9 dravyas. These 9 dravyas are experienced by all of us. Then comes the gunas. What are the gunas? Chadurvimshadireva syuhu gunaha. 24. 24 are the gunas. And what are the 24 gunas? The gunas are taking their support out from the dravyas. Variations of the dravyas are called gunas. So what are the variations that are taking place? For example, here, pancha shabda adi panchakam, sound, etc. So the sound, which is a characteristic of space, then the touch, which is a character, the nature of the air, then sight, which is the nature of the fire, taste, the nature of the water, smell, the nature of earth. These five. Shabdadi Panchakam. Those are all the five things. Okay. Then next one is Parimam cha Sankhya cha. Parimanam to be understood as here. The very word parimana means variations, dimensions. When you say dimensions, what does it mean? What are the possibilities by which it can change? So when you say dimensions means varieties of standpoints from which you can understand this. So it'll become a little more abstract as we go, because it includes Sankhya. Sankhya means number. So now we come to mathematics now. So Parimana, Sankhya. Here the explanation for Parimana is given in the Bhashya here. Parimanam anuhu hrasvam mahat dhiryam dirgam iti chaturvidam. Anuhu hrastam mahat dirgam. That is, a thing can be small, anu. It can be rasva, light. It can be mahat, huge. It can be dirga, long. Iti chaturvidam. So this, anything can be of these four dimensions. If you look at it, it is upward and the sideward. If you go upward, it becomes tall and short. That is one you have to call mahat and hraswa. And if you go in this direction, it will become long or short. So that's why, when you order anything in Amazon, you have to look at the dimension. Otherwise, the picture may be big, but by the time you get it, it'll be in a small box. It'll give into what? Because you didn't look at the dimension. The picture may be completely, misnomer. That's very nice, very huge glass that I've got, a silver glass. Then you will find that chota one will come here. And interestingly, they put it in inches or centimeters. That's the worst thing. When I was in India, I was ordering something in centimeter. And centimeters, and I sit and calculate, what is the centimeter or the inches, all that. And sometimes the picture can be such a big one. So the dimension is the width and the breadth and the height and all that. So, and then Sankhya. Sankhya is the number. Sankhya is Ekatvadi Lakshana, from 1 onwards. Then Sanyoga and Viyoga. Sanyoga Vibhagako. Sanyoga Vibhaga, not Sanyoga, Viyoga, Samyoga and Vibhaga. Sanyoga is coming together. Vibhaga is separation. Because any one or more, two or more, when they come into union with one thing or another, there are changes that takes place. In separation happens, and also change takes place. So the creation has the possibility of coming together, few things, or going away from on each other. And then Sanyoga vibhagako swabhavataha prataktvam. Then it is swabhavataha prataktvam. By nature being different from all other. Swabhavataha prataktvam. Being separate, being exclusive. And swabhavataha iti adhikaha vak akashadehe upadi prayukta bedavadya api na swapratyoga vedanta asti iti darshayitum. Like for example, akasha is always separate. And nothing can join with that. Even if it is there, it is away. Isn't it? Swabhavataha, by nature, it is like that. You put anything, it is there, but if you remove it, it doesn't care. It's just there only. It is always separate. So that is Swabhavataha Prataktvam. And then Gurutvam Dravata Punaha. Then there is weight, heaviness. So what we saw is length, width, etc. Now comes the heaviness, weight. And the science also believes, like for example, there were experimentation about what is the weight of the soul. How do we know that there is soul? So what they did, the experiment was, when a person is about to die, they started to weigh him. And when he died, they weighed him again. The difference between when he was alive and when he was dead is the weight of the soul. Obviously, because something left, no? But it is also not that easy, there can be so many complexities in that. For example, when you take a child, when it is active, moving about, running around, you take the child in your hand or put it on your shoulder, it will weigh X. When it is sleeping, it will be heavy. It's interesting how that is possible. So any object has got its own weight. Also, it gathers weight with a connection with other things. So the Gurutvam is also considered as one of the nature of a thing. Then next one is Dravata, liquidity. Punaha, again, the liquidity is also considered as one of the nature aspect of the. Then consider as the next one, Paratvam and Aparatvam. Paratvam is distance, Aparatvam is nearness. So that is close proximity and distance. Then Sneha. Sneha is viscosity, oilness. Sneha. Samskaraha. Samskaraha is the added qualities it has gathered up over a period of time. Tendencies. Samskar. Then comes the next one, Dihi, buddhi, knowledge. Dvesha, hatred, aversion. Sukha, desha, sukha, sukham, pleasure, joy. Dukkha, pain. Ichcha, desire. Dharma. Dharma is what is righteously done, leading to merits. Adharma, what is that which is done sinful, leading to demerits. And prayatna, the efforts. So these are all in general considered by the Vaisheshikas as the nature of any individual being all living beings, including matter. Now, going into a little more details, samskara is, tendency is taken up. What is the samskara? What do we call it as samskara? Yeah. Samskaras trividas vegaha ishvadirgati karanam drishtashrudhanubhudartha smriti hetuscha bhavana stitastapakata nama purvavat sthiti karanam akrishta shaka bhurjado spashtamevopalaksyate. Samskaraha trividaha. So there are tendencies of three kinds. What are the three kinds of tendencies? See, when you send your children to Balvihar or any place where they learn the values, moral, ethical, social, spiritual values, the intention is that they learn something and it becomes their own nature. In the beginning stages, whatever we teach them would be something alien to them. They do not imbibe it immediately because they do not see it as something which they can practice on a daily life. Whereas, let us say that a family, which is a traditional family, which has the routine of going to temples, doing the rituals at home, or praying together, the parents also have the swabhava or habit of doing this. The child does not feel that it is being taught something which it does not know. So what we call it as samskara is something which becomes inherent quality of that very child, or something which already the child has now going to be enhanced. And in the case of the children who are not exposed to such kind of routine in life, for them, obviously it will take a lot of time to become their own personality. Because there is no opportunity for the child to express that. Because parents do not have the same samskara, right? So it's hard for the child. See, that's what happens when the children start to learn, Indian children learning Chinese. Now tell me, when is the child is going to speak on this? Because at home, none of them speak. So what happens is, even in why it goes Chinese, in Indian languages, when the parents don't speak, obviously the child learns only Sunday to Sunday. Afterwards, there's no opportunity for the child to even speak about it. So when do that child learn finally? After a long time, if at all. Whereas if it is spoken at home also, the vocabulary is built, the structure of the grammar is known, and it will try to attempt. It will attempt to speak, even though make mistakes, and the parents will correct it. The child learns the grammar and properly, whereas the parents perhaps learned it as a mother tongue. So samskara in general is something we imbibe only to become part of our own personality. Okay. So now here, tendency is, one is called Ishu Adehe Gatihi Karanam. So one is called the movement of an arrow when it is on the, and it is left the target. This is the first one. Now I'll talk to you about this a little later, why this example is given. Ishu adehe gati karanam, first one. The second one is drishta shruta anubhudartha smriti hetuscha. The impression that is caused by what is seen, drishta, shruta, heard, and anubhuta artha, smriti. Whatever is heard, whatever is seen, whatever is experienced, that leaving an impression. The third one is Sthita Stapakata Nama Purvava Sthiti Karanam. Sthita Stapakata Nama Purvava Sthiti Karanam. Purvavat, like before, a sthiti which was there before, coming back to that when a thing is moved away from it. When you take an elastic or rubber, when you pull it, leave it, it will come back. Like what is the example that is given? Akrishta shaka bhurjadau. Bhurjada means a vriksha, bhurjada. Akasha akrishta shaka. When the branch of a tree is pulled out, when you leave it, spashtameva upalakshyate. This is what is clearly understood. When branch of a tree is pulled, it will go back to its position. Those times they did not have rubber bands to explain. So that's why they put this as an example. Pull the branch, it will go back to it because it is stretched out from it and then it goes back. Now, if you look at carefully, how is this a samskara? When the parents have been able to practice certain things, it becomes a nature of the child easily. And therefore, when it engages with the same amount of intensity. The observation that has taken place in the mind of the child is so vivid and clear. Without being, externally prompted, it can engage in. That's what it means. The child can externally behave correctly without being prompted by the external situation. Nobody needs to tell the child who has got the samskara what to do. It is like the released arrow. It has the propensity of its own. And once it has got the propensity, nobody can stop. The child can engage in the correct way of behavior without being externally prompted by anybody. Secondly, those which with the we can see ourselves, what we tend to take it seriously or to observe and understand based upon what we see here, etc. Even though we see many things in our life, daily life, we hear many things, certain things only we observe, certain things we don't, even though we are exposed to it. If you go to a mall and where there are so many things are there, but when you know that you are running on a budget or you know what you need to buy and you don't need to buy certain things, which is not necessary, you don't get the tendency to go for that. I always give the example of liquid spirituality. It is there, but I don't have a tendency to drink that. Therefore, even if I see it, I don't. So it is because what has been ingrained in my personality from the very early age. What is seen, what is heard. That's why we say what a child sees and hears are very important means of learning. That's why Badram karne bishruniyama devaha badram pashyema akshabir yajatraha. Seeing and hearing are the means to knowledge. So what is heard, what is seen, leaving memory, that is tendency. That's why it's called Drishta, Shruta, Anubhuta, Artha, Smriti. And the third one is ability to get back to your nature quickly. Even if the external circumstances are such that they're influencing you to do something wrong, you will have ability to get back to your original nature very quickly, not get caught up in the wrong situation. The ability to get back to your original nature. It's like if a person is high, good amount of immunity is there, even when the external situation causes the person to fall sick, but that person can jump back to or revert back to health easily because of the high immunity. Whereas those who are immunocompromised, when they are falling sick, it is very difficult for them to get back to healthy condition. So that is the reason why these samskaras are of three kinds. One, naturally, without any external situation. Second is what is observed and heard, leaving an impression. Therefore, it comes to the surface of the mind of the person. Thereby, he does not get involved because of the constant exposure to the right things. Third one is, even as when the external circumstance influence the person to do wrong, such a person can switch back to the original nature very quickly. Swabhavataha akrishta shaka bhujadau swashtameva upalakshade stidastapakata nama purvavasthitikara. So, Vaisheshikas are talking about the nature of things that are there in every living being. So, having explained samskara, what is action, karma, that is here given explanation here. Ukshepanam avakshepaha gamanam cha prasaranam akunjanamiti prahuhu karma panchavidam buddhaha. Panchavidam buddhaha ahuhu. Karma panchavidam buddhaha ahuhu. The function or the actions are of the five kinds, broadly speaking. What are those? Ukshepanam. Utshepanam. Kshib means to throw. Kship, kshipati. That's why we say somebody is subject. Akshepanam. Akshepanam means objection. Objection means I am throwing up my idea there. Similarly, ut, when it has at upasarga, utshepa means to throwing up, throwing up. So throwing up is considered also one action. Utshepa. Similarly, avakshepa. Ava means always down. So throwing it down, throwing up, throwing down. Gamanam. Gamanam, motion, moving. Then prasaranam, expansion. Akunjanam. Akunjanam is contraction. Now, this is interesting point because what Vedanta holds it as the functions of the pranas are explained here. When you are eating food, the food has, see, when you eat the food, food is going inside, but how does it go down? The going down takes place because of the prana pushing it down. Apana. Apana vayu is the one which pushes down. Udana vayu is what is throwing it out. So like apana vayu is capable of taking the food from your mouth and take it all the way down, Also, it is possible, it is the nature of the prana to push the food excreta outside your body. Similarly, when you're throwing up, that is also the prana's function only. So here it is, Vaisheshikas prove it as the 5 actions. Ukshepanam, throwing up, vomiting. Avakshepana is pushing down, including the food that is going down or excreta. Then movement, physical movement that takes place. Then the child or the anything that is growing, it expands itself. That is also an action continuously taking place. Even our own physical body, the skin actually expands and contracts constantly. And then when it is done, expands, contracts, expand, contracts, expand, contracts, expand, contracts. It is continuously taking place. And as you get old, that function becoming, because the elasticity of the skin is going to become, less and less, it starts to shrink. Then you will see all over the place. Wrinkles start because of the function being now the ability of to expand, contract is started to slow down. So these are all the functions that are seen here as 5 points, 5 different functions. What it calls samana, because samanya, so it is common here. We'll see that also. Samanyam dvividam proktam param cha parameva cha param satteva sarvatra tadanusyuta vartanam. Samanyam dvividam proktam. The general thing that is there in everything is called 2. There are 2 of them. Samanyam, dvividam proktam. Param cha aparam. One is superior, higher. Another is lower or aparam. What is that? Param sattva eva sarvatra. What is param is called existence everywhere. And sarvatra. Tad anusyuta vartanam. Tad anusyuta vartanam, accordingly following that which is the existence being followed, which is those which are following the existence are called aparat. That is said in the next verse. Dravyatva gunatyeta eta dharvatya gunatyetatyadi samanyam aparam tata visheshasuranantaste vyavritya jnana hetavah. So, what are those which are following the existence? Paratvam. Param, what is being followed? Dravya, dravyatva, guna, gunata, ityadi. Samanyam aparam tada. So the nature of liquidity and all various other things as gunas which are spoken about, they are all, they follow the existence. That's what tad anusyuta vartanam. These are considered as aparam, inferior. Now, what is visheshata which you are talking about? Visheshaha syuhu anantaha, varieties of them, they called anantaha, which is all infinite. Anantaha, te vyavritti jnana hetavaha. Vyavritti jnana hetavaha. Vyavritti jnana means ability to discriminate, ability to understand the difference. Vyavritti jnana hetu, the cause of knowing all the differences. Buddhi by nature is one which is capable of differentiating one from another based upon dravya, guna, etc. So this ability to understand everything according to their differences is the special quality which is found more in human beings. Human beings have got this ability much more than all others. That's called Vishesha. So this way, the Vaisheshikas have explained the nature of the creation having their inherent various aspects, and for the creation, which is a variety, there's a need for Ishvara as an external cause to create is not necessary. How that is going to be explained, why it is, and then how Vedanta would look at it will also be spoken about. So we'll see. I know that this is more technical than usually what we read. When we explain the second verse of Dakshinamoorty, those who are not aware of the various schools of philosophy will explain only the what is spoken by Shankaracharya from the standpoint. But Sureshwaracharya, wanting to make sure that other schools of thought at that time when Shankaracharya wrote, were also critically looking at this verse at that time, how he had argued with them and proved Advaitic standpoint. That Sureshwaracharya has taken note of and had explained in his Ullasa. That's what we should understand. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Any questions you have?